Is that common?
Oh. Nope, we do have people.
Nice. Who's here?
Mum and Dad are here.
Nice, Mum.
Hi Mum, hi Dad.
Hi everyone. Alright, there you go. You got the messages up there.
Okay.
I think. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're gonna start lying down like a starfish. So you can lie down like a starfish with your arms up or your arms down. Just like a starfish. However a starfish feels to you. I might sit up so Cam can have some more space. You can just start to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Just see how this posture feels. See how it, how it feels. Bearing in mind that you're kind of the same shape as a starfish, so what does that mean for you? Starfish are pretty fiery creatures as far as I can tell. Just noticing your breath. So today I thought it'd be nice to do a class about following your intuition and honouring your inner rebel. I'm sure we all know something about any kind of rebellion we might have inside of us. Any times we felt like acting rebelliously. I just want us to bring attention to where that rebel in us fits in with the voice that we also have in us that knows what's best for us, your intuition, your gut feelings about things. And sometimes that rebel can be on the same side as the voice in us that knows what's right for us, and it's there to rebel against other voices outside of us, maybe in society, that are trying to tell us that we can't do what we need to do and what's right for us. Just noticing how that rebellious voice can be there to protect you and to look after you. Feeling your starfish limbs and just watching your breath, maybe sending your breath all the way out to the ends of your limbs, to the ends of your toes and to the ends of your fingers. With every exhale, just pushing all that breath towards, or maybe every inhale bringing that breath towards all those extremities. And just seeing how it feels to have a really spacious sense of awareness, to be bringing your breath into a large space, to be bringing it all the way out rather than concentrating on your breath in your abdomen or your breath coming out your nose. You're sending your breath all the way out to your fingers and your toes. feeling that breath enliven all of your limbs, feeling that breath, seeing, maybe do a scan. Let's start with our right arm and sending our breath down our right arm and just noticing any numbness or any blocks we might have in our right arm and just noticing them as the breath travels past them. And then on our next breath, sending our awareness down our left arm all the way down, and again just noticing any blocks that might come up as we travel our breath down our left arm and just noticing them. And on our next breath, traveling down our left leg, sending our breath down our left leg and just noticing any blocks that might come up all the way down the left side, all the way down the left leg, and just noticing any dull areas, any numb areas, any blocks, and just noticing them. And on our next breath, sending our breath and our awareness all the way down our right leg, all the way to our right big toe, our right little toe, all the toes in between, and just noticing. Perhaps you've noticed there's a difference in how it feels to send your breath down your left side or your right side, your arms or your legs. That's all okay. And from here, you're just going to bring your hands to your heart, keeping your eyes closed. You're still lying down. And with our hands on our heart, we're just going to set the intention to honor our inner rebel, to really honor our inner rebel, whatever that means for us. And if there doesn't seem to be any rebel there, then to honor that as well. But I'm pretty sure that most human beings have something rebellious inside of them, whether they're aware of it or not. And from there, start to wiggle your hands and wiggle your toes. Start to wake up those starfish limbs. And staying lying down, you're going to lift both of your legs straight into the air as much as is comfortable. And from here, you're going to start to cross one over the top, them over each other, and then swap them round. So moving. So your right goes over your left as your left goes under your right, and then they swap round. And just keep going as long as it's comfortable for you, and just noticing the sensations in your hips, in your legs. Feeling the interesting energy of this pose. Maybe allowing your arms to join in. Maybe your arms want to go the same way as your legs. Maybe they want to go a different way. Yeah.
That's cool.
And just keep going for a couple more breaths. And when you've had enough, just bringing your feet down to the ground wider than your hips. Your knees are up, and you're going to cactus your arms. So lift your arms up into the sky directly above your shoulders. And from here, you're just going to bring them so they're right, the elbows at right angles, and you've got like a cactus shape with your arms. And you can have this really relaxed with no muscles engaged, or you can be really active and as if you're squeezing with your hands, you're squeezing boobs or something. And you're really active and you notice the lift in your shoulders then. And feel the fierceness of this pose. It's kind of like you're a tiger with your tiger claws, and You're fierce, you're a rebel. And now just to bring some energy to that rebellious part of us in our gut, we're going to lift our feet off the ground. So our feet are up and our knees are still bent, and then you can keep your arms where they are, you can bring them wherever's comfortable. You're going to try and straighten your legs and have your legs go as low as possible without touching the ground, and then lift them back up and come back to wide legs. And just carry on that a couple more times, so as you can bring your legs straight and bring them down to try and touch the ground, and then come back. If you're feeling really rebellious, then you can rebel against me and not even do this. Notice that. Notice the rebel in you that's saying, no way, this is too hard. And just noticing whether that's helping you or whether it's not. It might be helping you or it might be not. Just a couple more times. One more time. And come back to your feet wider than your hips and your arms nice and relaxed, either in cactus arms or you can have them on your chest, and just take a couple breaths here. Just let any tension that just came from that come out. Feel your core engaged, your fire. You've got willpower and you're ready to rebel. Just stay there a couple more breaths. And just tuning in whilst you're here, just tuning in to your intuition, to what feels right for you, to reflecting on whether that exercise we just did, was it right for you, was it too much for you, or was it a good challenge? Just really giving yourself space during this class to think, is she teaching me the right thing? And let your own voice guide you with that. And then from here you can bring your arms down beside you. You're still lying down. You might want to bring your feet a little bit closer together, but your knees are still bent. And we're just going to do a few bridge poses, so you can inhale, your hips come off the ground as much as is comfortable, and as you exhale they come back down. Inhale to lift your hips off the ground. Exhale them back down. And one last time, inhale, and we'll stay up here if your rebel will allow it. Just for a couple of breaths. Two more breaths. And exhale down, and again take another rest. Maybe bring your hands back into tiger claws, just to remind you that you are fierce even if you feel a bit exhausted after that. And from here, whenever you're ready, you can just start to hug your knees into your chest. And you're just going to start to rock around any way you want to, from side to side or backwards and forwards. And just really take time to play and to have a rock around. Let your intuition be your guide. Maybe stop just for a second and really, 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 really feel in to where your body wants to go, where it wants to rock, where it could do with a massage. And let you be the guide of that. Slow or fast, up, down, side to side. It's completely up to you and the voice inside of you. And when you're ready, whenever that voice inside you tells you it's okay to move on now, you can start to rock backwards and forwards until you come up to a sitting position. And from here, just get comfy in any way that you need to. Maybe you need a pillow under your hips, maybe you want to kneel, whatever's comfy. We're just going to sit here for a second and just feel into how our bodies are feeling after that. And I want to invite you to see what happens if you just bring some awareness. Maybe try and send your breath down to your gut area, just below your belly button. Maybe it's nice to put your hands there. And just feel how it feels to, just what's going on there. How does it feel? Perhaps for me anyway, it feels like a heavier place than my head. It's like the thoughts in my head are very light, but the feelings in my gut have a lot more weight to them. And that's an awesome thing. And whatever it feels to you, even if it's nothing, just honor that. Just let nothing be really, really, really felt. And notice any energy you have from those warming practices we just did, those quite heated practices, and notice how they might ignite the rebel inside of you. And how this juxtaposition between the rebel inside of you and the warmth from the rebel inside of you and this attention you're bringing to this very heavy, steady place, to the place that knows what's right for you. Notice how they flirt with each other. And from here, when you're ready to come back to movement, we're gonna bring the soles of your feet together. It's really helpful to sit on a pillow for this pose, for the next couple of poses actually. I'm gonna get, you got a pillow? Yeah. Good boy.
It's fine.
Just so that your back doesn't feel curved, I'm gonna have a pillow as well. In fact. And from here, making sure your pelvis feels nice and steady and your back isn't too rounded. You can have 5 pillows if you need to, if you've got them. You can start to bring your feet together. It might be that your knees are up here, that's okay. If you feel unsteady, maybe bring your feet further out in front of you. And maybe start to give your feet a massage whilst you're here. And again, before you just go and do what I've just said to do, just take a second and stop and just think, or just feel where I could do with a massage in my feet. And noticing maybe how gentle you can be. Like, it's quite easy to just go in and just go, okay, I'll be really strong, I'll just massage everything. But actually sometimes it's much more powerful to be gentle, but to have really felt. And then when you're ready, and if it's comfortable, only if it's comfortable, you can maybe start to flap your butterfly wings a little bit. And just feel the playful edge of that movement. Feel it freeing up again. This is another opportunity to maybe try being a bit slower, or a bit faster, a bit firmer, or a bit gentler, and just feeling out. Just let your body be your guide. And you don't even need to know what's right, you just need to be creative and explore, because that's how you're going to find out. Nice. And from here, you can start to, you're still sitting on your cushion. I'm going to move back a bit. You're going to bring your legs wide. We've got limited space.
Should I move forward?
Yeah, you're right. Bringing your legs wide. And again, they can be full splits or they can be like this. Whatever's comfy. Just making sure your back's nice and comfy and your hips feel cozy. And if you need 5 pillows, you need 5 pillows. And you might need to, it's quite nice to use your hands to move the fleshy parts of your bum out, just to give you extra support. We're going to try and stay here a little while. And just let you take a big sigh here. This can feel like quite a supportive pose. If you don't feel quite supported, then see what pillows you can bring to your environment to make you feel quite supported. I'm just going for another pillow. And once you're feeling nice and supported, just see how that allows for your see what it does to your torso. See what feelings are coming up in your torso compared to what we just did when we were sitting cross-legged. Perhaps for me, I find that there's a greater presence here. There's a heavier sense of heaviness, or a sense of I'm supported by this tripod I've formed with my legs. I'm supported. And that allows my attention to just really drop into the lower half of my torso. Just taking a couple breaths like this. And with the support and the weightiness of your lower body right now, you can just start with the roots of your legs and your hips. Just start to move your upper body in any way that feels nice to get a good stretch. Maybe some side stretches. Maybe you want to go a little bit forward. But again, really, there's no right way. And like I've said, it's that taking a second, just a second, to just go, hang on a second, am I just doing what, I'm just doing what looks like it should be right, but how does it feel if I stop and feel, and stop and feel? Maybe I'll try this, and then I'll stop and I'll feel. Maybe you want to roll your shoulders. I know I do.
Oh,
Yeah. If this is a bit uncomfy for you, you can always bend your legs as well if it starts to get too much with straight legs. And what we're going to do now to really test how our ability to follow our body compares to our ability to try and match up to a pose is we're going to just start to walk our hands forward. But as soon as it feels like there's any kind of forcing, that's a sign that you want to stop and just listen to your body and hear the parts of your body that are saying, hang on a second, that's a bit much, and just notice them. And they're getting louder. If a part of your body is getting louder and more painful, it's because it wants to be heard, and if you listen to it, it's because it has something to say. So just seeing what your body has to say. Perhaps it's in the hips as you start to go down, and just stopping as soon as they start to shout, and just noticing those feelings without judgment, just noticing the tension, seeing if your body will allow you to go further once you've spoken to it, once you've spoken to those parts of you. And breathing all the time, being supported by the breath. Perhaps you want to play with inhaling to come up a bit and exhaling to fold forwards. Inhaling to lengthen your spine and exhaling to fold forwards. Only ever going as far as comfortable. If you're still upright, then perfect. If you're flat on your tummy, also perfect. I'm just seeing if after a couple of rounds of that more dynamic movement, noticing if something's changed when you go to talk to that crease in your hips again. What's it got to say this time? Is it something different? Can it go a bit further? And on your next inhale, you can start to walk yourself back up to upright. And we're gonna lift our hands off the floor. And with our hands lifted on the floor, you're gonna try and bring your right leg straight in front of you and your left leg bent. It can either be bent on the inside of your right knee, or you can have it over on the other side of your right knee. Again, whatever feels comfortable for you. And keeping this hands off approach, you're going to inhale your right arm up to the sky, and as you exhale, you're going to try and see, you can either come so that your hand is on your knee, so you want to be twisting, or you can see if your right arm wants to hook around your knee, wants to go your elbow the other side of your knee. But if you can't do that without touching the floor, then let's leave it for today. Just feeling the intensity of this twist, noticing where you're twisting from. Is it from your gut? Is it from your middle back? Is it from your upper back? Is it from your shoulders? Just noticing. Maybe playing with how it feels to twist from different ways, from different places. You can bring your hand down now behind you and see if that supports you to relax some of your muscles into this pose. Just take a couple more breaths like this. And on your next inhale, come back and lift both your hands to the sky, and you're just going to bring them down to the other side and just take a little counter twist. So you're just going to twist a little bit the other way just to even out your spine. And inhale back to the center, hands off. And from here, you can try and do it all in one go, or you can do it in stages. You're going to try and swap the legs around. That's it. And again, you can either have so now your right knee is bent, your left leg is long, and you can either have your right foot on the inside of your knee or on the outside. But with your hands in the air, you're going to try and twist so either your left hand is coming to your right knee or your left elbow is hooking round and you're twisting. And if it's supportive, you can bring your right arm down behind you and just noticing where you're twisting from. Is it a team effort? Is it all of your parts of your body you're twisting from? And maybe you want to look over your right shoulder, and maybe you want to keep looking at the side of the room, wherever it's comfiest for your neck. Putting a name to the feeling that feels most like the rebel right now, whichever feeling feels like it's the rebel talking. And inhale your arms up to the sky, come back to the front. And as you exhale, just twist to the other side, just a gentle counter twist. And inhale back to the front, and this time you can let both your legs come out in front of you. They might be straight or they might be bent, whatever's more comfy, and you're just going to give your whole lower body a nice massage. Just squidge all the meridians. Let anything you don't want from those legs that we felt at the beginning just go down into the earth. You might want to sigh as you do this. Just let any energy out that doesn't need to be there. I'm yawning. Feels good. And in keeping with that theme, we're just going to start to support ourselves to come up, but we're going to keep our head down towards the ground, and you're just going to bring your legs towards straight, but only as straight as feel comfortable. Ideally, you still want your torso supported by your thighs. And here, you're just going to grab your each elbow and just let your arms, let your upper body hang. You're a ragdoll, a rebellious little ragdoll, and you just want to relax. And here again, let some sighs out, let it all come out. Maybe you want to rock ferociously, maybe you want to rock slowly, just feeling into what your body wants. Maybe you want to paddle your feet a bit from side to side, bending one knee and then the other. It's completely up to you. It can be as chaotic or as simple as you'd like it to be. And from here, you can bring your hands to the ground, your knees as bent as they need to be, and you're just going to walk to the front of your space. And in the funnest way you can think of, you're just going to come back to rolling down, rocking backwards and forwards. Oh, it says low battery. So you're rocking backwards and forwards. And as you do, you're letting any tension go out of your back. Sorry, that's Cam. Just letting it all go. Having some fun. Just any tightness you got from that class, just releasing it in the rolls. It's good, isn't it? And when you're ready, and you only need to stop when you're ready, you're going to come to lying on your back. With your knees bent, your feet on the ground. And just take a moment. We were in a similar position to this at the beginning of the class. How does it feel to be in this position again now? How's your rebel feeling? How's your gut feeling? How are all the voices inside of you collaborating right now to bring you here as the focal point of all of them at this yoga class right now? And really starting to slow down your breath. Maybe check in with all of your limbs, those starfish limbs. Maybe sighing. And when you're ready, you can keep your left foot and your left leg where it is, and you're going to bring your right knee into your chest. And from here, if you can, if it's comfortable, you can either stay like this if it's not comfortable, but give it a go. You're going to cross your right leg over your left leg as if you're sitting kind of cross-legged. It's like an upside down 4. And just take a moment with your legs like this. And then you're just going to let them drop to the side so that your right foot ends up touching the floor. So they're dropping to your left side. And if that's too much for you, you can just take your legs out of that and just have both your knees stacked on top of each other on the left side. And hopefully both your shoulders are on the ground. If not, if you need any cushions anywhere, then pop any cushions where you need them to be. And you can have your face looking straight up to the ceiling, or perhaps you want to turn it to face the right. Just to have a nice spinal twist. And your arms can be wherever is comfortable in this pose. And start to slow down. Let that fire be put out for today. It's time to come into the evening. You've done all the work you needed to do today. Just take some nice deep breaths. Let it all go. Let your rebel be reminded that it's been heard, that this whole yoga session has been dedicated to that rebellious voice in you that wants to make sure that things are happening according to your plan. That's important. And when you're ready, you can inhale your legs back up to the center. And you can uncross them, bring your right foot back down to the ground. And on the next inhale, your left leg comes up to your chest and just give it a little squeeze. And if it feels comfortable for you, you can bring your left leg to cross over your right thigh. So your legs are in an upside down 4 shape. And when you're ready, you can exhale your left foot down to the floor on the right side of your body. And again, if this is too much, you can just have your knees stacked on top of each other. It's still a twist. And you can either have your face facing up to the ceiling, or you can turn it to the left. And try and notice if there's any effort in this pose that doesn't need to be there. Perhaps it's quite a strain for you to keep your knee upright, so maybe you can just let it flop down a bit. It's okay, we're at the end of the class now. It's for relaxing. Just gently letting all the parts of you just open up. Any tightness that we got from those core practices can just ease out, can just release, maybe bringing some attention to your core, to around your navel, and seeing if there's any tension there, if it's a bit traumatized from any core work you've done, and seeing if you can just breathe into it and let it go. I'm really enjoying your body. I find this is quite an enjoyable pose. It makes you feel quite yeah, there's a sense of joy to be cherished. A couple more breaths like this, just really soaking up any benefits of this pose. And when you're ready, inhale back up to center. Bring both your feet to the ground. And you're going to bring both your knees into your chest. Just going to give yourself one big hug, a big thank you, especially to the rebel inside of you. It's looking out for you. And as you exhale, let it all go and come to Shavasana. Any comfy position, lying on your back. Maybe you want a pillow under your head or under your knees. You've got a blanket, grab a blanket. If you've gotten a bit warm and taken off some clothes, maybe put them back on. I'm just going to stay here for 5 minutes or so. And now's the time to really let go of anything you don't want to take with you as you go back into the world and back into your life after taking this time out. And giving a final nod to that voice in your gut that is there to direct you, and that rebellious voice that's also there that's trying to make sure that that voice in your gut gets heard. And just completely drifting away now. None of your attention has to be directed into keeping a pose. Everything is relaxed. Your feet, your calves, your knees, your thighs, your pelvis, your lower torso, your middle torso, your upper torso, lower back, middle back, upper back, your shoulders, your upper arms, your lower arms, your hands, your neck, your jaw, your eyes, your cheeks, your forehead, the back of your head, all completely relaxed.
What?
When you're ready to come back into the world, you can just start to bring some movement back into any part of the body that feels like it needs some movement. Really gently letting that movement grow and just giving your body a nice big stretch. Maybe with your arms over your head. Maybe stretching out your feet. Any last stretches that you want to take. And then we're gonna roll over onto either side. Just roll over onto one side. Give yourself a moment as a baby in fetal position, ready to be reborn. And then if you can keep your eyes closed, do, and you're just going to use your hands to support you to come back to any kind of seated position. Or you can stay lying down if you like. And again, we're just going to bring our hands to our heart and remember what we decided at the start of the class, to honor the rebel within us. And know that that's what we have been doing for the last hour. And then we can start to rub our hands together. Our eyes are still closed, bringing some heat. And once your hands are nice and warm, just cup your eyes. And from there you can start to open your eyes. And then you can bring your hands away from your face. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cool.
Bye.
Bye. Have a nice evening.